Every year, 6% of Bahamian
children are born with a heart defect.
We at Cable 12
and the Nassau Guardian decided
to lend a helping hand
in creating more awareness to the cause of saving little hearts.
One surgery
can cost up to
$250,000.
We at Cable 12
and the Nassau Guardian
hear their cry.
We are asking you
to make a donation to these efforts.
Embrace the opportunity
and save a little heart.
You're tuned into NB12, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Here's what's making news tonight. The Commissioner of Police addresses recent deaths in police custody. Pilgrim Full Baptist Church members vote to keep Bishop Randy Frazier. Irregularities surface at Environmental Health. Some Eastern New Providence residents concerned about a gas leak. Plus, a new radio show to educate Bahamians on the real estate industry. Those stories and much more on the way, and Nakia DeVoe and NB12 starts right now. Thanks again for joining us here at NB12. We've heard from Prime Minister Perry Christie, head of the Central Detective Unit, and even the families of those men who died in police custody and by police gunfire recently. But noticeably absent from dialogue was Commissioner of Police Ellison Greenslade. That is, until now. He broke his silence, giving members of the media an impromptu interview at police headquarters today. Paige McCartney reports.
In the wake of those police custody deaths, the officers of the Royal Bahamas Police Force have been getting a beating in the form of public opinion. But for the first time, Commissioner of Police Ellison Greenslade is speaking out on the issue, ensuring that police officers are not involved in the investigations, which he said are being carried out properly. And he said it's imperative that members of the public allow the law to take its course. The commissioner said he has personally met with the family members of Jamie Smith and Aaron Roll, who died in police custody last month, and Job Munnings, who was shot to death by police officers on Abaco in January. He said he sat and listened to them, answering whatever questions he could, and understands why they and others chose to protest yesterday in Rawson Square. Greenslade said he did as much as he could, and now the rest is up to the courts, and the families and the public should respect that.
I gave them my assurances as commissioner that nothing would be hidden from public scrutiny, nor from Her Majesty's coroner. And I was more than pleased to sign the order to allow the demonstration that you just heard about downtown. I spent, I'm sure, just about an hour with that most of that group here at headquarters. I'm happy to sign the order for them to demonstrate. I have no issues with what was done. I have no issues with what was said, and I speak on behalf of every member of this force. This is a democracy, and people have a right to demand accountability of us.
The police chief said he intentionally refrained from commenting on these recent matters so as not to prejudice the public's opinion of the police or the victims, but he felt inclined to speak after so many negative reports about the force started surfacing. He said he knows there are far too many complaints of officers misbehaving and destroying the trust the public has in law enforcement, but that should not influence these cases.
This cannot be about police officers trying to explain, well, we know we're just the good guys. We know we're good people, the majority of us. Some of us are not good people. Let's put that on the record. Some of us are not good people. This is not a perfect country. It's not a perfect organization. My job is to make sure the policies and procedures are clear, that police officers are properly trained and they understand the law. I don't want us to throw the baby out with the bathwater. People that have done wrong in this organization must be dealt with. People that are not fit to be here should not be here. People in our society that do wrong and are not fit to be among us should be arrested, charged, and certainly taken away from society so that they don't hurt us anymore. We have lots of work to do, and I am still going to say, right at the back end, that I repose my confidence in the system. I'm going to allow the courts to work. I'm going to allow the system to work. And I believe at the end of the day, once we've done the due diligence, everyone should be please.
The question of whether police can investigate themselves has come up again with these latest incidents. Police usually assist the coroner in her inquest probes. However, Greenslade reiterated that police are not intimately involved in these investigations.
The police force is not in charge of the investigations. The police force has never been. Anything that you've heard to the contrary, I now refute. The police force is not in charge of the investigations. Her Majesty's coroner is in charge and has always been in charge of the investigations. Her Majesty's coroner is able to direct police officers and to manage and supervise police officers as she deems appropriate.
The commissioner said his hands are clean in all of this. He said he has always ensured that nothing is covered up from the courts or the public, adding that he has full control over his officers and has disengaged many of them during his tenure for bad behavior and criminal acts.
A lot of officers have left this organization since I came in. That I was not prepared to keep. I said they could not wear our uniforms because they're not representing us properly. Some of them were charged for smoking dope and taking cocaine. We found it in their blood. Some of them were charged for more egregious crimes like robberies. Some of them conspired with other people to commit crimes. And where we found them to be culpable and they were allowed due process and natural justice, they were discharged from the force.
Greenslade said he understands what these kinds of incidents do for the public's perception of police, but he said Bahamians need to allow the system to work these matters out properly.
We can only police with the consent of the people that we serve, you, our public. When you start to doubt us and you don't feel safe in our custody, the commissioner clearly understands that we have a problem. I offer no defense to what anyone has said, family members, friends, or foe. What I say is, we still live in a vibrant democracy. I'm a part of a system that I have to respect. I am satisfied over the course of my career that that system works. I've seen it, because I'm giving you the hard facts that policemen are serving time.
For MB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
An overwhelming majority of members of Pilgrim Full Baptist Temple voted last night to keep their disgraced pastor, Bishop Earl Randolph Frazier, as head of their church, even though he is currently serving a 3-year prison sentence for having sex with a dependent. Our news team was there as more than 100 members turned out for the vote last night, which at one point erupted into a heated argument between two senior members.
Members stood on line to cast their votes, and groups of them crowded outside of the church waiting to hear the outcome. We're told the voting process ended after 10 p.m., and interim pastor Leroy Major confirmed the results of the vote to our news team late last night. However, he did not reveal the exact numbers. The Court of Appeal last year condemned Frazier as a sexual predator who, quote, disgustingly defiled the sanctum of his church when it upheld his conviction for having sex with a teenage church member who had come to him for counseling. Now, despite his imprisonment, Frazier is still officially head of the church on St. James Road, which reportedly has more than 400 members. The church still has a large portrait of him in the foyer of its administrative section, and his name is still on the church's sign. Many church members, including his wife Jacqueline, have been passionate in their defense of the bishop. Pilgrim Baptist Chairman of the Board of Trustees George Rogers said while the church believes in forgiveness, one must admit wrongdoing. In this statement sent to church members prior to the voting, Rogers said the board could have made the final decision on keeping Frazier on as leader, but decided to present it to the members. He presented church members with several questions to consider. Can Bishop Frazier still be effective as the senior pastor of Pilgrim Baptist Temple, considering that this matter has destroyed his personal, family, and leadership image in society generally? Can Pilgrim regain the confidence of the general public as a Christian entity that does not compromise the Word of God with Bishop Frazier as senior pastor? Can Bishop Frazier demand the respect in and outside the church necessary to accomplish the spiritual mandate the church is called to uphold? And does Bishop Frazier still exhibit the requisite qualifications of a pastor as outlined in 1 Timothy chapter 3? During his trial, evidence revealed that Frazier began the illicit affair with a 16-year-old girl shortly after their counseling sessions began in July 2005. The sexual relationship ended in February 2006, according to his accuser. The girl said she and Frazier had sex on Mondays and Wednesdays on the floor of his office before services and occasionally at his home when his wife was not there. Police found Fraser's semen on carpet swaths collected from the church's office. Reverend Dr. Philip McPhee of Mount Calvary Baptist Church, who has visited Fraser in prison several times, said he believes Fraser has paid the price for what he has done. And based on the outcome of the vote, it appears that many of his members feel the same. McPhee said he visited Fraser last month when he conducted a prison service, and he's looking forward to coming out and resuming his ministry.
The minister responsible for housing and the environment today raising concern over a number of discrepancies he discovered at the Department of Environmental Health. Christina McNeil reports. Yesterday, Dorset announced a full investigation was underway into an underground fuel leak emanating from a gas station on Robinson Road. Residents in the community are now speaking out, saying they are alarmed at the lack of information from the government. Celeste Nixon reports.
Following confirmation by government officials this week that a fuel leak has been detected, residents and business owners of this Robinson Road Texaco gas station say they are shocked and concerned by the lack of information coming from the government.
Robinson Road resident Teddy Forbes said he's disappointed by the minimal amount of information that has been provided.
Terrible lack of information. It's just bits and pieces. So that's why I say I can't tell you what is what. Okay? We haven't had any official announcement from any of the government agencies saying it is safe, don't panic, it's okay, it is not safe. The thing is, if we are in danger, we want to know. But everybody's tight-lipped.
Store owner Winston Ash said he has made numerous attempts to contact the Ministry of Environment and his Member of Parliament without a response. He said the issue needs to be resolved quickly.
And try to fix the problem as quickly as possible. And for them to say that they don't know, right? It might be true, right? But for more than 2.5 weeks, I was trying to find answers. So they should have had at least an inkling that something was amiss from 2.5 weeks ago.
40-year resident Brenneth Chisholm of Old Trail Road and his neighbor Florence McKinney said over the last 2 months there has been a strong gas smell in the area, which often fills their houses.
Every day. Every day. Some morning we wake up, it's inside of the house.
When did you first start smelling the?
And it's about 2 months now.
Since January, since they really started.
What is that like?
It's fumes, gas fumes, very, very strong. Yes, since they shut down.
Dorset and Minister of State for Legal Affairs, Damian Gomez, met with Rubis executives yesterday. As part of the investigation, Dorset said permission has already been granted from property owners to obtain test samples. However, residents said they have yet to formally meet with government representatives. Rubis has also pledged to work closely with government agencies to solve the problem.
While the extent of the contamination is still unknown, Dorset said he expects a full detailed report by the end of this week. Reporting for NB12, I'm Celeste Nixon.